Well, hey everybody, I was almost ready to start this and say welcome back to the channel, but this is a new channel, so I should say welcome to Retro Hack Shack After Hours, my brand new second channel here on YouTube. Now, there's been some discussion back and forth on whether I should even start a second channel. I mentioned it in a poll that I did online about what the name of the channel should be. You all chose Retro Hack Shack After Hours, so thank you so much to the community for participating in that. And I wanted to address some of the concerns and maybe help out some fellow YouTubers as to why I decided to start a second channel here on YouTube. The typical reason people start a second channel, I think, are because they want to branch out into different content. And that's not what I'm doing, but it is a popular reason to start a second channel. So for example, I had been thinking a long time about maybe starting a second channel about low carb cooking because I do a lot of that. I'm a type 1 diabetic, eat a lot of low carb food, and I'm constantly trying new recipes. I thought it might be fun to do that. But that is a lot of why people start second channels, because they have different hobbies, or they want to talk about something different that's completely different from their topic, the main topic they have on their first channel. And YouTube, it seems, does penalize you a bit if you stray too far off your original topics. The algorithm would not be able to find enough common threads between my core audience and their surrounding audience to make that work. So yeah, starting a second channel in that case makes sense. In my case, however, it's a little bit different. So something that's come up on my channel a lot has been comments where people have said, hey, I can't believe you don't have more subscribers, or I love your content. People need to like this video more, or something like that. And there's been, almost without fail, over the last few big videos, there'll be 3 or 4 comments like that, that appear on the screen. So, I agree. I'm kind of humbled, and thank you for people that have suggested that my content is worthy of more subscribers and a bigger channel. I really appreciate that. But I think there's some reasons why that has or is happening with my channel. And it comes down just to the way YouTube basically works. What I've noticed now that I have 100 videos, it's weird even to say that, but if I take a look at the analytics, what I'm noticing is if I have a topic that is starting to be popular, I put out a really nice polished, scripted video, which I want to do more of on the channel, and then I want to get more content out. So then I go back and do an E-Waste Wednesday video where I go and find stuff at e-waste and bring it back and take a look at it. Really interesting for my core audience, but not as interesting as the other video that I did first. What'll happen is YouTube will immediately start to recommend my latest content, which that is as it should be. They should recommend your latest content, I think. But in my case, what would happen is because of not every single episode was at the same level of interest, the second video would cause the first video numbers to drop. And I don't want that to happen. I mean, if I work really hard at something, I want to see it be as successful as possible and not cut it off at the knees with other content that I'm interested in, but my broader audience may not be as interested in. So that's essentially why I'm starting a second channel. I'm going to be putting the content like E-Waste Wednesday. If I find some random quick fix thing that might be interesting to some people, but not one of those highly polished, scripted, musical videos about history and takes a lot of research. So that I'm going to be separating those up and putting those on the second channel. And then those ones that I really work hard on for weeks and months sometimes to get really polished and done really nicely and typically do very well, at least as far as the analytics shows, those will go on the main channel. So it's all going to be the same content, just kind of split up a little bit differently so that the main channel can continue to grow as the numbers seem to suggest it should. And then the second channel, if that does well too, that's great. But I just want to have a place where I can do little fun projects that are maybe interesting to me and maybe interesting to a few hundred or a few thousand people, but aren't going to be necessarily interesting to a mass audience. I've seen this done successfully on other YouTube channels as well. I looked at about 10 different YouTube channels. It seems like this is a trend that was happening to them as well. So you have channels like LGR, channels like Adrian's Digital Basement, other smaller channels, and even some big channels that have decided, hey, if we want to do these small personal project types of things, then we ought to have 2 channels so that the content can not step on each other's toes. So I'm not suggesting that every YouTuber start a second channel like this. It is a bit of an experiment. The nice thing is, if it doesn't work out, I can always stop doing content on the second channel without impacting the main channel. Likewise, if I find something that really takes off on the second channel and seems to be something that a lot of people are interested in, I can take that content, and the next time I do it, I can put that on the main channel where a lot more people can find it. If you are a fan of E-Waste Wednesday, that'll be on the second channel, as I may have mentioned earlier. And do subscribe. Everybody, please, if you like my content, subscribe to the second channel. You're only going to get more of the same. So if you like repair videos, sometimes longer form, sometimes shorter form, E-Waste Wednesday, there's videos about audio gear that I want to do. I've got a reel-to-reel sitting over here, several cassette players that I want to work on. And I haven't done that. Even an 8-track player, by the way. I haven't done any of those videos because they didn't fit in closely with my main content. And I'm kicking myself that I didn't do them because I thought that they would hurt the channel, essentially. So now I have an outlet for that. It's this channel, Retro Hack Shack, After Hours. Please subscribe and follow me here as well as on the main channel. All of my social media places where you find me posting pictures and things like that, those all remain the same. My Patreon account, where lots of people are thankfully, supporting the channel that way, that remains the same. All the content from both channels will go on Patreon the same way. So none of that changes, but it does have to do with making things work a little bit better for YouTube. That's all I had to talk about today. This is my first video. Let me give you an example of something that's coming up on this channel in short order. And that is, I found a box at eWaste. This will be an eWaste Wednesday episode. A big box of ISA 8-bit and 16-bit ISA cards that, would have been used for either clone computers or IBM PC, XT, AT computers that had 8-bit and 16-bit slots in them. And I haven't opened it yet. I peeked inside. I know what's in there basically, but I don't know what any of those cards are. And so I thought we could go over it together here on the second channel and just see what's in there. And then maybe that'll lead into a follow-up video for the first channel where I do a computer restoration or test out a vintage 5151 monitor that I just found, something like that. That would be a little bit more broader appeal. So be looking for that ISA card exploration or PC archaeology, if you will, video. That'll be coming up very shortly on this channel. And there's a message for me. I better go. Until next time, thanks for watching. Patrons receive ad-free and early access to content after the episode commentary, and of course, your name in the credits. If you liked that episode, here's a few more you might enjoy, and I thank you for your support.
End of line.